We have a very special guest today.
Very special.
On Stu TV. Whatever we want to call this thing. It is Liz. You may recognize her as my wife, but she's also quite famously the owner of Coastal Organizing Company.
Okay.
So, when did you start Coastal Organizing Company?
I started in October of 2018.
And why?
Why?
Yeah.
Because, well, that's kind of a long story, but over the years, I've always been very organized since I was a kid. And when we had Ellie...
I know Ellie. Do you guys know Ellie?
I realized how, crazy is not the right word, but like how meticulous and organized she is. And so I saw it in a 3-year-old and felt like, oh my gosh, this is who I am, because she's my child. And I think it made me rethink kind of how I viewed myself, and I realized that this is a gift, and it shouldn't be something that I should be embarrassed about, but I should share it, because, I don't know, when you see like something that you're good at in your child, it just changes your perspective. So made me want to kind of do this for a living.
Would you say everyone in your household is good at organizing?
Not you.
Okay. Well,
No.
2 of us, and we'll find out if Parker's good at it too.
Right.
So, did you kind of always think that other people were good at organizing, or?
I think I always thought I was crazy, and that's why I kind of reframed how I said that about Ellie, because I always thought I grew up in a household that they weren't organized. Sorry, Mom and Dad. Love you guys. We all have our own strengths, and I think that's one thing I want to say too, because some people are embarrassed that they're not organized. But, yeah, so I grew up in a house that they weren't organized. I kept the house in order. I kept everyone kind of organized. I packed my siblings for camp and, like, made sure that they had, you know, an outfit for every day, like in a Ziploc bag labeled. And anyway, so my mom always, like, loved that about me. But I always kind of thought it was crazy, and I didn't really fit into my family. So I thought it was weird. And so I think now I've realized this is a gift, and not everyone is organized. That's not how most people view the world, and it's just how my brain works. I've always just see the world in structure and order. And so I realized this is a gift, and I have to share it.
What are your clients looking for? Like, why are they reaching out to you?
Because they need help. They need structure. I think the biggest thing that I hear from clients is they're overwhelmed with their space. They don't have like peace in their space because their house is not in order. Yeah. And they're really seeking that. I think at the end of the day, no matter if you're organized, like if you're not organized, I think everyone wants to be like, have structure in their life. Yeah. You know? So they reach out to me because they need help, and their brain doesn't work that way, so they don't know how to organize the space.
What are your clients' biggest fears when you show up?
I think, like, right when I walk in, I usually ask, like, can I see your space? And they always get really embarrassed, or they make excuses, like I cleaned up before you got here, which I'm like, you don't have to do that, or I'm really sorry, like, this is such a mess. People just don't want, you know, me to see, or anyone to see that part of their life. People hide it. Even on social media, they hide it. And so when I'm opening up their drawers, it's very, like, they have to be, you know, open to wanting to change. Yeah. And, yeah, it can be a lot for them. Yeah, their biggest fear is just being found out, I think. Yeah. Even though it's normal and it's okay. And that's what I always tell everyone when I walk in. Don't apologize. You can't say sorry. Because this is real life and you're normal and I'm crazy. That's usually what I say, because most people aren't organized, and that's okay.
So then why should people be hiring a professional organizer?
That's a good question, because like I mentioned, everyone craves structure. Yeah. And when your house is chaotic and you're disorderly, you get stressed out. It can cause anxiety, can cause, you know, frustration, embarrassment. There's so many different things that you can just feel inside emotionally. And so when you have an organized space, you feel peaceful in your home. You feel like, oh, I know where that's at. I mean, how many times a day do you lose your keys or your wallet and you get frustrated, and it causes a lot of anxiety. And so with everything in your home, you know, when you have a place for everything and everything's in its place, you can live and breathe a little better.
And disclaimer, my lack of organization does not reflect on Liz. I am an untamable beast.
We've worked on it.
We've worked on it. We've gotten better.
But no matter what,
right?
when I say put the keys in your wallet in the basket by the front door, you still don't do it. But that's okay. It's a learning process.
I literally have no idea where my keys or wallet are right now.
Yeah.
Anyway, can you tell us a little bit about the process you go through with your clients?
Yes, the process is I have a conversation over the phone because it starts with kind of hearing everyone's struggles, why they are calling me in the first place, and what I can help with. And then I head over to their house, check out their space in person, measure, talk to them more about, this is okay, it's normal. And then we schedule a date, and when I come in, I remove everything from a space. I don't throw anyone's stuff away. I think people always worry that I am, but that's not a part of my process. I categorize everything, and so that way the client can go through whatever we're organizing with me, and it's less overwhelming for them when I pull everything out, categorize it, then they can see what they have, and they don't have to be a part of that process. Right. I do it for them, and then they make decisions on what they want to keep, what they want to give away. We take steps to Goodwill for them to get out of their house, and then after that I clean the space. I figure out a structure for what we're going to put it in, things back into. So I think that's the biggest part of organizing is figuring out a structure that's going to last.
And a system.
And a system that's going to last long term. I think a lot of people say, I tried doing this and then I called you because it wasn't working. So I make it a structure that's going to last long term and work.
Very cool.
So once I put items away, the last step is labeling. That's really important when you're organizing a space because if you have a big family or the people in your house, they need to know where something's at.
Awesome.
So label. It's important.
Well, you should follow along with Liz if you don't already. Coastal Organizing Company. We'll tag her here. She gives daily tips about how to organize on Instagram, and I think she's pretty special, so you should check it out.